Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Tuesday, January the 28th, almost February, which means we're almost up to 4 nations. I'm almost up to having a week off, which means I got to start pre-recording and everything, so I've started doing prep work for that. It's going to be a lot of stuff put out there, and we'll see how many views all that gets. But anyways, today's news, and I'm not pre-recording news of the day because that'd be weird, but Brandon Saad has been placed on waivers by the St. Louis Blues. Bit of a surprise seeing Saad on waivers. However, his production has definitely dropped off. This year he's played 41 games, 7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points. He's also 32 years of age. So the odds of him bouncing back lower than it would be if, say, he was 25, right? Saad has a year left on his contract at $4.5 million. The actual money paid out is not $4.5 million. It's less than that, but still, I don't think Saad gets picked up on waivers. Now, what can happen here is that he would clear waivers and then potentially get traded after. So the team that would acquire him would not have to waive him because he's already cleared waivers. And then the team acquiring him could have him in the AHL and then utilize him for the playoffs or bring him up if there's an injury, that kind of thing. So we'll see what happens with Saad, but he's been placed on waivers by the St. Louis Blues, a team that definitely needs something to change. Hey, they lost to Vancouver and it wasn't Saturday, so something had to change. Jonas Brodin placed on LTIR by the Minnesota Wild today, retroactive to January 7th, so that affects when he can come off of LTIR. Kaprizov, discouraging news with Kaprizov having surgery for a lower body injury. He's out a minimum of 4 weeks. The timing of this, considering we're going to have a couple of weeks off from the NHL anyways, he's not going to miss as many games as he would have if he'd had that surgery earlier. So hopefully he comes back healthy and 100%. It does make you wonder if he came back too soon. So Kaprizov's going to be out for a while. The Minnesota Wild have had their stumbles recently, but they're still well above the playoff line, so I think they'll probably be okay. But stay tuned. You just never know. It is Minnesota, and so you have to keep your eye on that. So in Montreal, following their loss against New Jersey, apparently a lot of people on social media attacking the work of Mike Mattheus in that game, and his teammates, as well as coach Marty St. Louis, backing him up, talking about what a great teammate he is. Now everybody has a rough night, and that just happens. And saying all the right things with Matheson. Now, of course, Matheson may end up being moved at the trade deadline himself. It's honestly going to be either he or Savard, and I know Savard hasn't played very well this year either. So we'll see what happens and whether or not Matheson gets moved at the deadline. But at this point, the team and their coach saying, hey, Matheson's a good player, and we're glad to have him. All that normal stuff. I think it's weirder if teammates don't back up a player, and we haven't seen that in a long time. But there have been occasions where I've said, "Why didn't anybody back that player up there?" But we haven't seen that lately, so there's no reason for me to necessarily talk about that at this point. But it is something that every now and then you'll see that where it's like nobody's defending this guy publicly. So Calgary, ahead of their game tonight against the Capitals, they've recalled Tyson Barrie. Adam Klapka's been called up as well. Klapka's huge, so we'll see if he gets into the lineup. One thing with the Washington Capitals, they are a big team. They play a heavy game, so Klapka could help with that, although he's on the fourth line, right? Barrie, of course, a power play point guy, and we'll see if he gets into the lineup or if he's a healthy scratch. It was a conditioning loan where Barrie was sent down, so we'll see if he plays tonight. Toronto news. So Tavares, Nyes, Yarncroke all skated before practice. Tavares is supposed to be back at practice within the next week and trend towards a return. Stolars and Pacioretty are close to a return. They both took part in practice, so that's good news. Pacioretty, of course, a veteran forward, and Stolars was having himself quite the season before that injury befell him. So hopefully Stolars is 100% soon, comes back and helps Toronto, maybe win the division. It may be kind of fun if Toronto wins the division. It's been a while since Toronto won the division. So for the Toronto Maple Leafs, this is a big... Now, I know they won the division, the North Division in 2021, but it kind of feels like that season was just different and weird, right? Anyways, Toronto getting Stolars and Pacioretty back would help them a lot. Cole Reinhardt has been waived by Ottawa. No relation to Sam Reinhart. There's a D in the last name as well, so it's not spelled the name. There is no relation between the two. But I didn't want to just say Reinhardt's on waivers and move along because there'll be Florida fans going, what? So anyways, or people saying I didn't know Griffin Reinhart was still playing. Good for him. So yeah, Cole Reinhardt waived by Ottawa. Probably clears. There's a little bit of something there. We'll see. There might be a team that looks at Cole Reinhardt and says, he might be a good fit for us right now. A lot of injuries going around, as I've said, so I know that affects whether or not players end up being claimed on waivers as well. So this news is broke as well that apparently the NHL and the NHLPA, they're already working on a 2028 World Cup of Hockey, and they've informed the IIHF that they will not be working in concert with the IIHF on that tournament. So that means it'll be just NHL players and probably a similar format to the 2016 World Cup of Hockey, which of course was played when this channel was in its infancy. So I still remember that. But anyways, a 2028 World Cup would be kind of fun. That's kind of what the Four Nations Cup tournament that's going to be happening in a couple weeks. This is kind of a dress rehearsal for the Olympics and then the World Cup to follow. So it should be fun. And the announcement, they're hoping to make an announcement about the World Cup of Hockey during the Four Nations tournament when people have their attention paid towards that. I'd be interested to see if the World Cup of Hockey will be in the middle of the season like this Four Nations tournament, or if it'll be before the season as the World Cup of Hockey was back in 2016. I prefer before the season myself. I think that works better, but you guys can let me know your thoughts. Would you rather see that tournament during the season, after the season, before the season? After the season really doesn't work because you're into July and it's really hot and guys just want to have their vacation at that point. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. And so, do you think Saad clears waivers? I think he does because of the cap hit. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I will talk to you again soon.